This week we read the double portion of Tazria and Metzora. Both portions deal with a biblical affliction which was called tzaraat. There really isn't a translation for that word. It's definitely not leprosy. It was a biblical affliction that reminded a person, it was a wake-up call, that something was not right in their lives and they had to change. They had to look, they had to introspect, they had to see their behavior, and then they had to decide, what do we have to do to change that? In Metzora, the Torah details how not only can a human body be afflicted with this tzaraat, but even a person's clothing and a person's house. But there's a strange verse. The Torah tells us that when the Jewish people will come to the land of Canaan, Hashem will v'natati nega tzaraat b'beit eretz achuzatchem. I will give you tzaraat in your homes. And that's a very strange turn of phrase. I will give you, like a gift. Tzaraat was definitely not a gift, because if the green and red blotches found in the walls of the house were not cured, ultimately the house had to be dismantled, had to be destroyed, had to be knocked down. So how is that a venatati? How is that a matana? How is that a gift from Hashem? And the answer is that when the Canaanites heard that the Israelites were coming, they hid their treasures in the walls of their homes. And then as the Israelites moved in, one at a time, they all got tzaraat at some point or another in their homes. And the tzaraat wasn't cured and they had to knock their homes down, and lo and behold, they discovered all these treasures that were hidden by the previous inhabitants. And they realized, wow, look at these gifts that have been hidden. Had we not got that affliction, that tzaraat in our homes, we would never have discovered the treasures within. And the Torah calls it tzaraat a nega, an affliction. But if you take that word nega, nun, gimel, ayin, and you turn the letters around, it spells oneg, which is rejoicing. And often in life, Hashem throws us a spanner in the works. Hashem throws an obstacle in our way. But the truth is, we just have to look at the obstacle differently, turn it around, and maybe that nega, maybe that affliction will be the source of our greatest oneg, of our greatest celebration and greatest joy. And what's interesting is the word nega and oneg, the ayin, the letter ayin is the one that moves around, and the word ayin also means eye. And it depends how you move your eyes around. Because the same thing that can happen to two people, one person can see it as an affliction, as a nega, and another person can see it as an oneg. What the Torah is telling us, that God gives us as a gift these things that we call obstacles and stumbling blocks. But in fact, they are a gateway to something much greater, something waiting for us down the line. Shabbat Shalom.